Hello everyone, welcome back to Gringa Spanish. I'm Christy and today's Spanish lesson is going to be a vocabulary lesson continuing the theme of introducing yourself and talking about yourself. Today we're going to focus on jobs and we're going to focus on additional activities that you may like to do in your free time, and we're going to build your vocabulary. So we're going to start with a few phrases. One, what is your job? So to ask this question, you can say, ¿Cuál es tu trabajo? Trabajo is the word for job. ¿Cuál is one of the words that can mean what. Es means is, and tu means your. When this word tu, when it doesn't have an accent, it means your. When it has an accent, like the possessive word, your dog, your laptop. When it does have an accent, it means you as a person. You do this, you do that. So they're similar but different. ¿Cuál es tu trabajo? That means what is your job? You could also just say ¿Qué haces? This literally means what do you do? ¿Qué means what? Haces comes from the infinitive hacer, which means to do. So ¿Qué haces? Means what do you do? That's a little vague. But it's pretty clear depending on the situation. Like if you were to meet someone in a bar and say like, hi, what's your name? If you asked, what do you do? You would reasonably assume that you were talking about your job, your profession. So it's the same thing here. A lot of the time, if you just say, ¿Qué haces? They'll understand, that you mean, what is your job? ¿Qué haces? Could also just mean, what are you doing right now? Like if you call somebody and say, ¿Qué haces? It means, what are you doing right now? But for today, ¿Qué haces? Means, what do you do? What is your job? So 2, I am a, you're saying your job. You're going to say yo soy and then your job. Yo is the Spanish word for I or me. Soy means I am. So the I is in soy, as in this is conjugated from ser. It already tells you I am. So you could also just say soy. The yo isn't necessary. But for today, let's say yo soy whatever. 3, is that difficult? Es difícil? So difícil sounds really similar to the English word for difficult, and es means is. So straight, the translation would be is difficult, but in Spanish, there's not always... In English, you change the words to make it a sentence. You say, is that difficult, instead of just the statement, that is difficult. Like, we have ways of rearranging things to make it into a question. But in Spanish, there are question words like cuál and qué, but a lot of the time, if you're asking a question based on a statement, you would just say the statement and then make it into a question with your voice by going up at the end with your tone of voice. So, es difícil could be a statement that just means it's difficult. Like if I just said es difícil, that would mean it's difficult. But if I say es difícil, that means is it difficult? I'm asking a question. Okay, 4. What do you do in your free time? ¿Qué haces en tu tiempo libre? Libre means free. Tiempo is time. So tiempo libre is free time. ¿Qué haces? Again, just means what do you do? And then en tu, remember, tu without an accent is your. So en means in. So ¿qué haces? What do you do? En tu, in your tiempo libre, free time. 5. It is difficult. This is kind of out of order. I'm sorry, guys. It is difficult. Es difícil. So you see, it's the exact same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same words. Es difícil. But this one, you make it into a question with your voice. Es difícil. And then to say it is difficult, you just say es difícil. You could say it's very difficult. Very would be muy. So you could say es muy difícil. It's very difficult. You could say it's a little difficult. A little is un poco. So you could say es un poco difícil. But if that's a lot, don't worry about it. Just focus on these statements that I'm giving you right now. And then you could also answer yes or no. So let's state possibly the obvious, but if not, don't worry. That's why we're starting from the beginning. Yes, sí. Sí is yes in Spanish. No is no. So no is very easy to remember. Okay, so the really important part of this vocab list, I think it's all important, but one of the most important things we're going to do is go over a list of common jobs. This is really useful to know if you're at a store, you want to know how to say like, oh, let's go to the cashier now. So just knowing these common jobs is probably more useful than you might initially think it is just for introducing yourself. Like you might be tempted to just look at this and say, which one am I? And then only remember that word. But like for example, singer, you might want to say like, oh, who is that singer again? So you have to know the word singer. Or like, oh, what's the name of the athlete number 10? So you might have to say athlete. So anyway, let's go over this list of jobs. 1. Nurse, enfermero, or enfermera. So a lot of words in Spanish can end with an O or an A, and whenever that's happened, I've put a slash here. That's not all the time, but usually you will use the O ending if that person identifies as a male, and you will use the A ending if that person identifies as a female. So if it's a nurse that identifies as a female, I'm going to say enfermera. If it's a nurse that identifies as a man, I'm going to call him or speak to him as enfermero. Okay, doctor is doctor or doctora. So some words also won't have the O, but can have an A added onto it. Like enfermero has an O that can also be switched out with an A. But doctor, it's not doctoro or doctora. That's not the way it is. There's no O there. It's either doctor without an O or doctora with an A added onto the end. So some words are also like that. Lawyer is abogado or abogada. Journalist, periodista. So some words don't have the option between an O or an A, and the word can be male or female as it is. Google did not give me, I often double check a lot of these just to make sure that I have accents in the right place and things like that. And Google did not give me an O ending to this. So periodista should be the word for a male or a female journalist. La periodista would be a female journalist. El periodista would be a male journalist if you were saying the journalist. Scientist. Científico or científica. Singer, cantante. That's the same male or female. Actor. Actor is the male version. Actriz is the female version with an IZ at the end. Dancer. Bailarín is the male version. Bailarina is the female version. Engineer. Ingeniero is the male version. Ingeniera is the female version. Programmer. Programador or programadora. So this is another one that has the A added on to the end. Pilot. Piloto. That's male or female. Cashier. Cajero or cajera. Bartender is camarero or camarera. Janitor is conserje. Waiter is mesero. That's male or female. El mesero is a male waiter, and then la mesero would be a female waiter. Athlete is atleta. Atleta, that is also male or female. So el atleta would be a male athlete, and then la atleta would be a female athlete. Photographer is fotógrafo. You see the accent over the O, so fotógrafo for a male and fotógrafa for a female. Musician, músico or música. That has an accent over the U. So I know it's a little confusing first coming to Spanish and being told, look, there are male words and female words. And then just in this list alone, you see a bunch of exceptions to that rule. But remember, there are exceptions to every rule. I think the majority of words will have the O or A ending, O being male, A being female. But there are a lot of exceptions to this rule, so I've given you some of them here. Alright, now let's talk about different activities you can do in your free time. 1, to run, correr. So in Spanish, like we mentioned last time, verbs in the infinitive form are going to end in either AR, ER, or IR. The infinitive form of a verb in Spanish is the same as the English form of the verb when you say to whatever. So notice I put to here, to run, to ride a bike. That's the infinitive form. It doesn't tell you who did it or when they did it. The rest of the sentence can indicate that, but also when you conjugate a verb, you'll have to change this ending to specify that. But don't worry about it. All I want you to remember for today is the infinitive form of the verb is the same as in English when you say the form that says to whatever. And in Spanish, the infinitive form is going to have an AR, an ER, or an IR at the end. You're going to learn more about that as we continue. So these are different activities that you might do in your free time. Activities. Oh, actividades. I'm sneaking in some Spanish here. You're learning. Actividades means activities. To run. Correr. To ride a bike or bicycle. Montar en bicicleta. 3. To swim. Nadar. 4. To go to the gym. Ir al gimnasio. 5. To exercise. Hacer ejercicio. 6. To go out and party. Salir de fiesta. So if you just say salir by itself, that kind of implies that you're going out partying. If you want to specify what you're going out and doing, you can say de fiesta means partying. It's similar in English. If you just say I'm going out, a lot of the time people will figure you're going out partying. But you can also specify because maybe you're just going out shopping. Maybe you're just going out to a movie. 7. To go to a movie. Ir al cine. So ir, if you want to learn a little bit more here in depth, ir means to go. Al means to the, and cine is movie theater. Technically this is el cine because cine is a boy word, so to say. And in Spanish, when you have a followed by el, a means to, and then el would be the, and then cine is movie theater. In Spanish, when you have a followed by el, you can abbreviate it to al, which is more common, I would say. So I would say this is maybe more correct. I don't think al would be wrong if you said it separately, but most of the time it becomes abbreviated to al. Now, if you had a female word here, you can't do that because it's not el female word, it's la female word. So if this was a female word here, you would have to say ir, a, la, whatever. Okay, 8. To go shopping. Ir de compras. 9. To learn Spanish. Aprender español. 10. To paint or draw. Pintar or dibujar. Pintar means to paint. Dibujar means to draw. 11. To spend time with family or friends. Pasar tiempo con la familia. Or with friends, you'd say con los amigos. Amigos means friends. If they were all females, you could say las amigas. La familia is a singular word, even though it refers to multiple people, the same as in English. When you're saying my family, you say the family, a family of people. Family, the word is singular, even though it refers to a group of people. 12. To take classes. Tomar clases. Tomar means to take. It's very similar to take in English, as in you could also say to take a pill. It also means to drink, unlike to take in English. But tomar means to take, and then clases is classes. 13. To read books. Leer libros. If you have a favorite activity that's not here, go ahead and comment it below. Maybe look it up in a Spanish dictionary, and then see how you would say that. And here are some useful phrases that you can learn to go along with your infinitive words. Me gusta means I like, and then the same as in English. A lot of times, one thing that's great about Spanish is Spanish and English will have similar rules. So, just like in English, when you say I like to do something, you say the infinitive form. So remember I said the infinitive doesn't tell you when they did it or who did it. So when you say I like to do something, you're kind of referring to that activity in a more abstract sense. You're not saying I did this the other day. You're not saying I'm going to do this. You're saying I like this in the abstract form. So that's a good example of the infinitive. It's not conjugated. It doesn't say that somebody actually did it at any given time. So me gusta means I like, and then you would use the infinitive form, all of these, to say what you like to do. So you could say, me gusta leer libros. I like to read books. Me gusta tomar clases. I like to take classes. Me gusta pasar tiempo con la familia. I like to spend time with my family. So to say you like to do something, say me gusta, and then use the infinitive form of what you like to do. Another useful phrase is voy a. This means I am going to. Voy comes from the verb ir, which is an irregular verb, which means when you conjugate it, it follows different rules from normal. So don't be scared if you see this and you're like, this doesn't look like any word I know. For ir, that's pretty normal. And you're going to hear it so much that it's going to be easy. So voy a means voy means I am going, and then a means to. And it's the same as in English. Ir, you can use it to mean I am going to a place, but it's the same as in English that you can say I am going to do something. And that's kind of a hack to say that you're going to do something in the future using only this phrase and the infinitives which you already know. So if you want to say you're going to do something in Spanish, you don't need to know the future tense, even though you should eventually learn that. But you can say voy a and then use the infinitive form. So let's go through a few examples. Voy a ir de compras. I am going to go shopping. Voy a ir al cine. I'm going to go to the movie theater. Voy a salir de fiesta. I'm going to go out and party. Okay. And the last one here, I'm going to put quieres and then blank. This is a question. It means do you want to do something? So the same as in English, when you say do you want to do something in a question form, you would say the infinitive form of the verb that you're asking somebody if they want to do. So you can say ¿Quieres montar en bicicleta? Do you want to go bike riding? ¿Quieres correr? Do you want to run? ¿Quieres ir al gimnasio? Do you want to go to the gym? Now, I guess one note is if you're saying you want somebody to do something, that's actually different from English. If you're making a statement that you want somebody to do something, you don't use the infinitive form in that case. But do remember that if you're asking somebody if they want to do something, it's the same as in English. You're going to say quieres and then the infinitive form of what you want to do. And the last thing we're going to do for today, I know this is a pretty long lesson, but I want to give you a lot that you can go ahead and practice and use. And I know there was a lot in here, so if you want to listen to this multiple times just so you can hear all the new vocabulary over and over again, review it, get it stuck in your head, remember it, that might be a good idea as well. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do today is an example dialogue using a lot of the pieces that we've practiced today, not all of them, so you can actually see what a dialogue might look like in real life. Okay, Mark. Hola, ¿cómo te llamas? So this is hello. What is your name? Lionel says, Hola, me llamo Lionel. Hello, I am Lionel. So obviously this is very contrived, right? It's not, maybe you go to a party and you're meeting new people, but for now these dialogues are going to be a little bit like, hi. Okay, Mark. ¿Qué haces, Lionel? So he's saying, what do you do, Lionel? Lionel says, soy atleta. I am an athlete. Remember, atleta is one of those words that always has an A at the end, whether the person is a male or a female. Soy atleta. ¿Y cuál es tu trabajo? And so he says, y means and, cuál means what, es tu trabajo is your job, and what is your job? Mark. Soy cantante. I am a singer. Remember, cantante is also one of those words that's the same whether it's male or female. ¿Qué haces en tu tiempo libre? What do you do in your free time? Lionel. Me gusta dibujar y leer libros. ¿Y tú? So he says, I like to draw and read books. And you? Mark says, me gusta ir al cine. I like to go to the movie theater. Okay guys, that's it for today. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you learned a new Spanish. Again, this is more focused for people who have less experience with Spanish. If you're just getting started in Spanish and you want to speak Spanish, focus on improving your vocabulary. I what I'm trying to do here is make a channel where you can learn a lot of Spanish in an organized way without having to go anywhere else. Because a lot of what I see on YouTube when I search for Spanish lessons is very unorganized, or it's ads for other services, and I don't think it needs to be like that because Spanish isn't hard, and you just need somebody to explain it to you and get you started. So, like I said, there was a lot in here, so you need to get it in your head. So to remember it, you might want to watch this again. But now you have some phrases that you can go out and practice, maybe repeat them to yourselves. If you're serious about learning Spanish, you can do it. It's very easy. So I'll come back sometime with more lessons to keep on building. And in the meantime, you can watch some of the grammar videos, and expose yourself to more Spanish in any way that you would like. Watch like Netflix in Spanish and stuff like that. But don't overwhelm yourself either. If you're done for today, then be done for today. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.